You asked us to pick one topic we felt strongly about. One topic that the president-elect should address. But our topic's all of them. We can't just choose one thing because our whole country is an issue.
You look at us as children, but we see the next president, the doctor who cures cancer, the next Picasso. We are the teachers, the scientists, and the lawyers of the future.
You've burdened us with reconstructing this country. So we're starting now. We're not going to stand by and watch you destroy our futures. We're not going to ask you for help. We're going to start fixing tomorrow, today. $35,000 for college. Oh, that's no big deal. I make like $100 every 2 weeks. So I'll be able to pay that off in like... never.
Speaking of mental math, let's talk about the educational system and how it has completely failed me.
I don't know how to do my taxes, but I can tell you about the quadratic formula.
X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Right now in math class, we're learning how to convert angle measurements into radians and revolutions.
Revolution 1, revolution 2, revolution 3, revolution 4.
There's not even angles in a circle.
Today, I had to ask my teacher what a mortgage was.
I think it has to do with houses.
The U.S. is 14th in reading, 25th in math, and 17th in science. We don't even break top 10.
But we are number 1 in the amount of money we spend on education. Canada spends 1/10 of what we do on education, and their kids are a year ahead of us in reading and a year and a half ahead of us in math.
Let's talk about something else.
Well, I tell you about healthcare, but it'd just be cheaper to die.
We're not supposed to talk about that.
But that's what my mom says.
And speaking of my mom, she's getting pretty up there.
That means she's getting old.
And she's a bit concerned that there's not going to be any Social Security left.
The Social Security system has been the secret Santa for the government since the 1960s. And yet, our parents and us will continue to pay into it. How are you going to fix that?
Because we know you're taking more out than what we're putting in. We're not as dumb as we look.
Revolution 17, Revolution 18, Revolution 19, Revolution 20, Revolution 21, Revolution...
A revolution is a changing of the world, and it's also a turning of the world. And our world is Earth. Thank you, Mrs. Wagner, my 3rd grade science teacher.
Global warming.
Is global warming even a thing?
Yeah, it's when the world gets really hot. Like, really hot.
Everybody says it's a thing, but we don't even know if it's a thing.
We're too busy learning the quadratic formula.
X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
And the angles of a circle.
Diversity. What does that even mean?
Diversity, according to Google, is the condition of having or being composed of different elements. The political definition is understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing each individual's differences.
But does diversity even exist, or have we overdone it?
I opened my scholarship booklet, and at least 10 of them required me to be of a certain ethnicity.
Colleges are required to have certain percentages of students with diverse racial backgrounds.
They have to have a certain number of white, black, yellow, purple, pink students to prove that they're diverse.
In yellow, black, and white, we are precious in His sight. We all love the little children of the world.
Since when do we have to prove that we're diverse? My ethnicity shouldn't trump my ability.
It's still wrong to be yourself.
Who am I supposed to be? Can I be Beyonce? I get so excited.
That's not really what I meant.
Nobody can even accept anyone else for who they are.
We've been told that being different isn't bad, but the whole world is saying otherwise.
People are killed every day for being themselves.
Christian,
Jews,
LGBTQ community,
Muslims,
blacks,
whites.
people,
These are people
human beings.
that are dying because of who they are.
We are completely unprepared for life.
Yet I'm expected to know what I want to do with the rest of my life.
We're about to enter the real world. What does that even mean? The real world?
Am I not real?
As the world feels really real to me right now.
U.S. national debt approaching $20 trillion.
The attack appears time for
6 dedicated school workers and 20 beautiful children were taken from our lives forever.
Repeal and replace Obamacare.
By nature,
that is dependent on constantly changing human
This originally started off at 11 o'clock this morning.
To solve our climate crisis.
Massive anti-Trump protest.
All right, are you not paying off your college loans? Let's see.
How am I going to pay for college?
What am I going to do after college?
Is my education enough to get me through?
We want you to tell us no. You're not going to die.
We want you to tell us yes, you can pay for college.
So we want you to address me.
Us.